You've probably heard the terms ADHD and ADD before. Today we'll talk about what they actually mean, how they're different, and how people with them can manage everyday life. Let's break it down simply. ADHD includes hyperactivity, ADD doesn't. That's the main difference. ADHD often shows up as impulsive, loud, restless behavior. With ADD, it's more about being distracted, daydreamy, or seeming spaced out, like their mind is somewhere else. Of course, everyone's different. Think of this as a general illustration, not a strict label. We don't know exactly what causes attention disorders, but it's usually a mix of factors, like genetics, birth complications, poor nutrition during pregnancy, or early childhood trauma. What we do know is that it's linked to differences in the structure of the central nervous system. Simply put, their brain just works differently. Now let's look at some of the most common myths about people with attention disorders. First, people with attention disorders are just badly behaved. That's not true. These disorders don't come from parenting. As we said earlier, it's about differences in the central nervous system, and that's not something you can change with how someone's raised. Second, people with attention disorders are dumb. Not true. These disorders have nothing to do with intelligence. Someone with an attention disorder can have a high IQ and even finish university without a problem. Third, people can just grow out of attention disorders. That's a myth. These conditions don't simply disappear with age. In fact, if they're ignored or suppressed in childhood, they can show up even more strongly in adulthood, often in unexpected ways. The good news? With the right strategies and support, it's absolutely possible to live a balanced, fulfilling life. Fourth, attention disorders are caused by phones and computers. Not exactly. Technology can make the symptoms worse, but it's not the root cause. Attention disorders don't come from screen time. They have deeper neurological roots. And finally, people with attention disorders can't focus on anything. Not true. They struggle to focus on things they find boring, but if something grabs their interest, they can enter what's called hyperfocus. A deep concentration so intense they might forget to eat, drink, or sleep. And now we're getting to what can actually help with attention disorders. One of the most important skills is learning to manage time. People with attention disorders often struggle with feeling time passing. That's why it really helps to visualize it, with clocks, timers, or time blocks. This kind of time awareness can keep us from falling into that all-or-nothing trap, from total disinterest straight into hyperfocus and back again. Another thing that really helps is breaking big tasks into smaller, manageable steps. When we do that, it's easier to see what needs to be done, and we get to celebrate little wins along the way. It also stops that overwhelming feeling that makes us want to quit before we've even started. Another big one is visualization. For people with attention disorders, it can be a total game changer. Colorful markers, sticky notes, mind maps, they're not just useful, they're actually fun. Visual tools help the brain stay engaged and make information easier to process and remember. It's also a good idea to cut down on distractions, like using headphones or turning off notifications. And if willpower isn't enough, don't worry, there are apps for that. One example is Forest. The longer you focus, the more your little tree grows. And honestly, no one wants to be the person who let their tree die. Reward systems can also work really well. For younger kids, it might be a game. For older ones, maybe a checklist. The idea is simple. After completing a certain amount of work, you get a reward. That little boost of motivation helps you keep going instead of giving up halfway through. And it's also important to take care of our health. Regular movement, good quality sleep, and a balanced diet all make a big difference. Our brains work better when our bodies feel good, and that's true for everyone, not just people with attention disorders. For more details, feel free to visit my blog. Please note, the content is in Czech, and the link is right below the video. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, feel free to give it a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.